Hi my dear friends, I hope you all are doing good. In this video we are going to see how one of my team is able to clear the UiPath Advanced Certification Practice Test with a phenomenal 93%. Throughout this video we have discussed on each and every questions and answers just for more clarity, and I hope this video will be useful for your own advanced RPA developer certification preparation. If you find it interesting, please subscribe to my channel and click on that notification icon so you get my videos as soon as I post it in YouTube. Thanks. Let's now jump on to the topic. All right, we are recording now. So we'll take this assessment together. So we'll go through this first question, and you can just ping in the chat or just talk, unmute and talk, which is the option. Excel.
Excel application scope.
Okay. If it is Excel, I want to know why it is Excel.
I think because we need to read the file and we take the file and input the file and process the output. Maybe we need some modification there.
Okay. So yeah, that is correct. We are like, it's mainly he's working in the Excel, and all the operations is in Excel only, mainly from the call center person point of view. The call center employee is working mainly on the Excel, but the robot is performing, it's scraping the structured data from the application. That is one. So it is copying all the data from one of the application, and it's performing some data manipulation operation to match and format the data. Maybe for that they can use these matches, and it's writing the formatted data into the Excel sheet, and finally it sends an outlook. So which workflow activity requires a modification to some of the properties default value. So for if it is the default properties default value, so by default, so all the other operations like the scraping the data, that can be run in the background. So most of the scraping is happening in the background, so no problem. So perform data manipulation, it is also mostly in the background. And this Excel, we cannot be sure, and it is not sure in the background, because by default this Excel has a property to open the Excel itself, right? And that is why, like, we need to do some modification so that the Excel does not open and it operates in the background, because we need to run the process in the background. So that is why we assume that is Excel, I hope. And next one is the Microsoft Outlook. Even Outlook has this thing. So if you configure, like, record something, open the Outlook and everything, the Outlook also will open. But in most cases, the Outlook activities runs in the background. So that is also not the answer. So the Excel could be the answer, I think. Yeah, even I guess it is, but I still have doubt between this Outlook and Excel. But since everybody is saying Excel, like, I go with the Excel. So everybody is sure, right? Prince is saying get full text. So in that case, I want to know why it is get full text. Get full text. No, Prince, that's not the answer actually, because it happens in the background. All right, we'll go to the next one. A developer was asked to build a process that will run on a window in the background of an employee's machine. To ensure UI automation runs in the background, which activity must be avoided? Click input dialog, send hotkey, type into. So first you read and understand the question before you take any questions. So he was asked to build a process that will run on a window in the background of an employee's machine. So he can do any task at that time. The task will run in the background, right? That is the meaning of the background automation. To ensure UI automation runs in the background, which activity must be avoided?
That should be input dialog.
Yeah, who is that?
Sunny.
Oh, Sunny. Yeah, I think that is the correct answer. But why?
Because when we do the input dialog, we need to type things,
Yeah.
we interact with the UI
Yes, that is
automatically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Sivakumar. Actually, send hotkey is also one of the answer because with send hotkey, we can pass the input, and click also maybe the answer, and because the click is the UI automation, and send hotkey also, or like in some way it's not a pure background automation, but
Yeah.
yes, type window also is the same, but everything can be the answer. But if it is the multiple option, we can choose all this. But since we need to select one of them, we need to give the priority, because the input dialog just pops up. So when the employee is working in the foreground, he gets this input dialog, and he needs to enter something. So we should avoid this input dialog, because we are doing a background automation. Got it? That is why we choose this input dialog. And a developer designed a process in UiPath Studio that is best suited for a simple and linear process. Which studio workflow type was used? So there are 4 answers. Designed a process in UiPath Studio that is best suited for simple and linear process. So for simple and linear process, we do not go with RE framework. So we
Sequence.
Sequence.
correct. So sequence is the answer. So a developer decide to create a process using state machine. What is the correct execution sequence of the parts in state activity? So state you have done in RE framework, right? So there is a state machine, and they are asking the order of the execution. From the drop down list, select the correct number. So number 1, 2, 3. I'm just selecting it. So you need to order it correctly.
Third is one.
Which one is 1?
Third.
Third is 1. Okay.
Condition. I mean, first one is second.
Okay.
Third is a trigger. Sorry, second is second is third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this correct? I think.
Correct. So his activities in the entry sections are performed. Activities triggers are evaluated. Activities in the triggers are performed. Activities in the exit section are performed. I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure about this. I need to work, then only I know. So anybody else, any guesses?
Otherwise, we can open the state activity. We can.
So I think we need to Google through this. So I think the entry section is correct, and second, I think it's the trigger conditions.
Trigger, yeah.
Third, the trigger, when it perform the trigger actions, and exit, right? Right. I'll go with Shiva. If anybody don't have any other opinion, I'll go with this. Is that correct?
That seems to be correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. A developer needs to create a process to read values from an invoice and store them in a local Excel file. The invoice file is a scanned PDF. So what is the recommended activity to retrieve the text from the PDF? So it's a scanned PDF, guys. So,
Read PDF with OCR.
yes, exactly. So it's not a get text, because we cannot get a text from the image. When it is scanned PDF, it comes as an image. So we cannot get a text. Read PDF with OCR is the correct answer. Read PDF text, that is not the correct, because same as it cannot read from the image, same as the visible text as well. So read PDF with OCR is the correct answer. I think so. If you want to read a specific set of pages from a PDF using the extract PDF range activity, what describes this activity?
That is number 3. Yeah.
Third. Start page number.
Yeah. Output of the activity is a string variable containing data from all the pages. No, that is not the right one. Password protected .pdf cannot be read. So there is nothing about the password protected, so which is like, it's a confusing statement. If range equal to is provided, it will read from all the pages. It is not true. There is nothing like this. So again, it is irrelevant statement. So expression start page number to end page number, where we'll be passing the page number as an argument, is a valid expression for the range field. Yes, I think so. That's correct. What are the difference between send window messages and simulate type input methods? So I think related to this, I have seen many questions. So you go through background and foreground automation as well as these things as well, and default method as well, default, simulate type, and send Windows message. So all these three topics you need to go through again and again. So you can expect many questions here. Send window message auto empties the input field. Simulate does not auto empty the input field. So I don't believe in this statement.
I think that is answer.
That, okay.
I think four.
We'll go through one by one then. The send window message is compatible with 80% of the application. No, this is irrelevant statement. There is nothing like that. Send window message does not work in the background. Simulate type does work in the background. I think this is the one. Send window message has hotkey. Simulate type does not have hotkey. Actually, this hotkey is also somewhat correct, I think.
Yeah, number 4, because simulate type is not supporting hotkeys.
Simulate type does not have hotkey. Send window message has hotkey support. Are you sure send window message has hotkey?
Yes, I think so. I'm not sure, but I think simulate type doesn't support hotkeys.
Yeah, I think this.
But in that case, send window message does not work in the background, right?
Yes, send window is also correct. These two
does.
statements seems to be correct. I am a bit confused here. So send window message does not work in the background. That is correct. Simulate type does work in the background. Yeah.
Oh, send.
Rajnish, I think send window message does work in background.
Okay.
But not the default one.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yes. Send Windows message does work in the background. Yes, this is correct. And this one, yeah. So this both, I think that is clear. It does not work. And send window message has hotkey support. Simulate type does not have hotkey support. Yeah. So any other, anyone else has any opinions on this?
Hi, Raj. I think it is third answer. I'm not sure.
Which one?
Third one.
Third one.
I'm not sure, but I think it is.
I guess I need to go through my reference here. Send window message and simulate type, right? Yeah. Actually, this send window message does works in the background. So that is what's said by Sunny, and I could not object that. So how about this one? I'm pretty sure this is not the answer. So that is why I select this. So as told by Sunny. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think I'm not pretty sure, but if any one of those doesn't have the hotkey support, I believe the simulate type does not have the hotkey support. Because the simulate type, it's perfectly, it works in the background and mainly depends on the APIs. So using API, you cannot enter any key values, right? So I think, I believe that is the answer. I guess so. We need to wait, actually. So you're working with an application that allows all types of input methods for type into activity. Which property should be enabled for the fastest execution?
Simulate type.
Yep. So send window message is like it is a bit slow, and empty field is not at all an answer. It's just confusing statement, and click before typing also is not the correct one. So it should be either send window message or simulate type. but similar type is the fastest because it uses API, it is the fastest. A developer configured the properties for a click activity on an element inside a page as shown in following graphic. So they used to give these kind of images. So you need to check on each of the property what they have configured. So mainly this continue on error, it is true now. And some display name and mouse button is button left, and wait for ready is complete. So this wait for ready has many options like interactive, complete. So you need to go through all those. So during runtime, the selector is invalid, then does not match any element on the web page. What occurs when this click activity executes? So when the click is executed, we need to find what is going on. So because it does not match the element, so it cannot find anything. And if it is a error, what occurs when the click activity? So invalid selector error, or continue to the next, or timeout, or wait 30 seconds before clicking on the center of the web page. So this is a confusing statement. The last one we can ignore, and it's only the first three things. And by default, it is 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think continue to the next activity, second one.
Okay.
Because it is continue on error is true.
Yeah. Any objections from anyone? Or any other suggestions? Okay, if not, I'll take this one, continue to the next activity. Even I believe that is the correct, because the continue on error is true, and yeah, so no error will occur. So based on the configuration shown in the graphic, what is the result of the execution of these activities if neither the calculator nor the snipping tool are open? So this is a parallel activity. So they have chosen two options here, and they have given these properties where the continue on error is blank, and the wait for ready is interactive in both of them. So when this executes, and they are telling they have this one is not at all visible, the calculator or the snipping tool is not available. So what is the result of the execution? So no, workflow throws an exception after 200 millisecond, because 2000 milliseconds, 2 seconds, and this is 4 seconds. The timeout is 2 seconds in the calculator and 4 seconds in the snipping tool. So workflow throws an exception after 2 millisecond, find element calculator, or no exception is thrown and the workflow ends after 4 seconds. Workflow throws an exception after 4 seconds, find element snipping tool activity timeout exceeded, no exception is thrown, and the workflow ends after 600 millisecond, sorry, 6000 millisecond, and this does not make sense. And this is a confusing statement, last one. And second one is also a confusing statement, because it should end in 30 seconds if nothing is working, and in 4 seconds, either it should be first or third, I believe. So what do you think?
I think the first one.
Yeah. Anybody have any suggestion? Okay. I believe it is the first one as well, because the parallel activity always starts from the left hand side, then move on to the right hand side. So first it's try to execute the calculator. So calculator not available, then it will come here and see the timeout. So by default it is 30 seconds, but the timeout is 2 seconds here, and also it is interactive. So within 2 seconds it will fail, and we get this error. I think we need to hurry up to finish all the rest of the thing. A developer plans to create a process to automate a web application in order for the robot to perform an action as soon as the element has appeared, regardless of whether other elements appeared or not. Which property value should be configured? So as soon as the element appeared, so it doesn't worry about any other. In a web page, if you are waiting for a submit button and the rest, you are not worried about anything else. So what you choose? Timeout equal to 100 is not the answer, and timeout ms equal to 0 is also not the answer. I think so.
Number 3.
The first one. Interactive.
Yeah, I guess it is interactive, because if it is interactive, like it will check for the element. If it is visible, then it will select that. Otherwise, it will just wait until it become visible. Any other suggestions by anyone? How about Sunny?
Even I am not sure. I guess it's 3, but I'm not sure because other elements appeared or not. If we see the question, maybe.
Yeah. Other elements appeared or not? Yes. Whether or not other elements appeared or not. So do you think that interactive will wait for the other elements?
I'm not sure.
Wait for ready equal to none. I think this is the interactive one, but yeah, we'll see next. We'll go with Siva. So a developer wants to modify the RE framework to make a linear process based on the RE framework documentation. Which action should the developer perform? In get transaction data, out transaction item is nothing. Get transaction workflow, out transaction item if in transaction number equal to 1. Set maximum retry number is 0 in the config file. Set maximum number to 1 in config file. So you need to understand the difference between the linear process and the RE framework. So linear process, if there is sequence of operation, it happens only one time. That is linear. And RE framework is like a transactional process. Transactional process is it will take more than one processes and it will run one by one. So that is why we go for RE framework. So for linear process, so what option do you think?
Number 2, because the transaction is equal to 1.
Yeah. So to make that RE framework back to the linear, so we are just taking only the first transaction. So by default, we give the transaction number as 1 in the framework. So only for number 1, we put a if statement. If transaction number is 1, we are going to run this framework. So it becomes a linear. So other things, I don't believe it. It's confusing statements. A process uses the RE framework with queues. The value of the max of retries on the queue is 3 and the max retry number value in the config file is 2. In the event of repeating application exceptions, what is the maximum number of times a queue item will be retried?
3.
You know the RE framework will retry number of times, right? In the case of failure. So it is asking how many times it fails when the queue is configured as 3 and the maximum retry value in the config file is 2.
3.
3. Any idea?
Yeah, 3.
The reason?
In config file, no, whatever in that orchestrator queue, right? So whatever the maximum retry number makes sense. So based on that, it means like config file is not supported.
Sorry, which one?
No, config file is 2, right? So it will not override.
Yeah. So like actually it will override. So in the case where we are using the queues and we are using the orchestrator queues, so in that case it is by default it is using the value from the orchestrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is why the 3 is the correct answer. But if we are not using the orchestrator queues, in that case it will take the config file. So it gives the priority to the queues. So the 3 is the correct answer, I guess. A developer plans to create a repetitive process in the RE framework based on the best practices. Which actions should be followed to defend against potential robot crashes such as out of memory? So this is quite somewhat difficult question to answer. All invoke file activities from the main.xaml should be marked with the isolated option. After every transaction, clear the transaction data, close the application and reopen the application. Add a clear collection activity at the beginning of the process workflow. Build in a script to check out current CPU usage values against a threshold and clear the data accordingly. All invoke workflow file activities from the main activity file should be marked with the isolated option. So have you anyone come across this working with the isolated option?
No idea.
Okay, so I'll tell what it is, the isolated option. So in a framework, we have multiple workflows, right? So like but all the workflows run in a single process. So when you see the process, if you are running, if you did not give the isolated option and run a particular framework, so every framework takes the process. So the process takes more memory, and in case of any lot of data, so it occupies all the memory value, and we get this out of memory error. So when we select one of the workflow as isolated option, so it takes a separate memory. So in the process, it will take one more process. So in that way, the workflow takes a separate process. So in that case, the memory will not take that many values. So even if there is a issue, we can easily identify that. So because of this specific workflow, the out of memory is happening. So in that way, we can again, we can split the workflows, or in that way we can easily fix that issue. So that is one option. After every transaction, clear the transaction data, close the application and reopen the application. So after transaction, if you are clearing the transaction data and close the application and reopen the application, I don't think that is the correct answer, because it will take a lot of time, right? For every transaction, if you're closing and opening in that every application, it will take 2-3 minutes. And for running thousands of data, it will consume a lot of time. So I don't believe that is the answer. Add a clear collection activity at the beginning of the process. So if you are using clear collection activity at the beginning of the process, so what will happen, all the activities that happened before starting the process, such as reading all the config file values, so everything will be cleared, right, from the collection. So in that case, I don't think that is the answer. Build in a script to check current CPU usage values against a threshold and clear the data accordingly. I'm really not sure about this. Build in a script. I think this statement is quite confusing. We are not going to write any scripts. We are only going to drag and drop. So that is not an answer. So either first, yeah, it's very clear. I think this is the first one is the answer. Anybody have any different opinions on that? If not, we will go to the next one. A developer needs to read the data from invoices and then input the extracted data to another system. Each invoice can be processed separately, and the order in which they are processed does not matter. Which type of project is best suited for this automation design? Anybody?
Transactional process.
Okay, I'll go with that. Anybody else have any other? So it's very clear, because input extracted and fed into another system. When it is extracted, there are multiple invoices. When it is multiple invoices, it automatically become a transactions. So we go with the RE framework and transactional process. I believe that is the correct answer. A developer implemented a dispatcher process using RE framework to upload items to a queue. Each queue item contains ID of a ticket created by employee assigned to a department. The performer runs 24/7 and processes the queue items. The business requirement is that ticket should have deadlines set at the queue level. Each department has a different service level agreement specified in the process documentation. The sales department requires their ticket to be processed within 1 hour. What is the correct expression that should be added in the deadline property in the add queue item activity for the sales department? So a developer a dispatcher process to upload items to the queue. So he's uploading items to the queue, and each queue item contains an ID of a ticket assigned to that department. The business requirement is that the ticket should have a deadline set at the queue item. So it is a 1 hour deadline because every ticket that comes should be processed within 1 hour. So what is the correct expression? So you're going to add 1 hour.
Okay.
So the time also should start.
I think
Third
number
one,
Time span, one is hour, minute, second, microsecond. I'm not sure what it is. New system.time span. Any other opinions?
I think number 1, maybe we need to add 1 hour, right? Isn't the process should be
Number
I'm not
one.
sure.
Also, I'm not sure about the both, but I'm pretty sure this one is bit confusing statement because it has 3 zeros, and with that, by guess I just ignore this
I
one.
think that time span starts with 1 day. I think day, minutes. I'm not sure.
Okay, if it is the day, that is the wrong answer, and even
Yeah.
if it is the hour, also it is the wrong answer. So in that way, I just believe this one could be the correct answer. If
I'm not sure. Even I'm confused.
okay, now you and I'm also guessing, but the best guess is the first one because time span could be correct, but the bracket values is a bit confusing to me. That is quite not stable. And yeah, in that way we will select this one. So yeah, so we'll move a bit fast. We are running out of time. A developer using the RE framework to create a performer process. In which state is the queue item status updated? Anybody other than Siva and Sunny? Okay, so this is a RE framework question. So usually the status, queue status updated, it can be. How about Sunny? What do you think? It's not in the process transaction, and it is not.
I think it's number 3 because we get the
both. Yeah, get transaction, process transaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in both it's updated in get transaction data and process transaction, but you need to be careful because if they ask the RE framework, the advanced one and the enhanced RE framework, so everything happens within the get transaction data, I believe. Yeah, but yeah, you need to check on that. But yeah, I think this is the correct answer, I believe. What is the main advantage of RE framework performer process? Multiple robots run the same process with a single queue, extracts data from multiple sources and adds them directly to the queue. All items from the queue can be processed at once. Prepare the data in a common format in queue. So what is the main advantage? Almost all of them are advantage, but what is the ultimate advantage here?
Third one.
Third one, all items from the queue can be processed at once.
I guess number 1.
Number 1 is multiple robots runs the same process with a single queue. So both are a better answer. So let me assess between this. So it says multiple robots run the same process. Yeah, actually the robot comes and the first robot take the first process and run, and the second robot take the second items. So yeah, multiple robots run. It's the correct statement. And the third statement is all items from the queue can be processed at once. This is also the correct statement because all the items from the queue will be processed, but okay.
But that's with the dispatcher.
So not at once. So at a time, all the robot cannot take one thing, right? So multiple robot will take multiple items. So it is like sequentially it is done, not at once. So yeah, first is the answer, I believe. A developer automated an invoice process in the RE framework for the finance team. The SME has a requirement to receive an email with the process report at the end of every delivery transaction. In addition, the finance team requires the recipient to be changed every 2 weeks. So the recipient is an email address. The developer uses a send Outlook email message activity at the end of the process transaction state and uses the SME email address as a recipient. Based on the best practices, where should the email addresses be stored? So usually where we store the email address. Sorry?
Config file, but
Config file, yeah. Usually we store in the config file, and in the config file, which sheet we usually store as per the best practice?
asset.
Which one, Shiny?
Asset.
Asset.
Assets.
So
Assets.
all email address, phone number, so these kind of things can go into the asset.
Orchestrator.
Asset, and definitely it is an orchestrator asset. So orchestrator. So in an orchestrator, text asset and reference to the asset sheet. And in an orchestrator, credential asset and referenced in the setting sheet. So that is not the answer. So it should have the asset sheet. So in an orchestrator, text asset and referenced in the setting sheet. So it is the wrong answer. The first one is the correct answer, I think, because it is the asset sheet, and in the orchestrator, text asset. Yeah, is that correct, or any suggestions? In an orchestrator text asset, and referenced in the setting sheet. In the orchestrator, credential asset, not the answer. Value of an email address, no. It's not a constant. It's not. Yeah, I think that's the first one. A robot notices that in a process that uses RE framework, sometimes the init state fails with an application exception by default. What happens if the init state fails? What happens, guys, if the init state fails? So if the
Goes to end process,
it will go to the end process, right?
Yeah.
And init state is retry number of times equal to the max retry number. Is it not tried with the max retry number of times as per the framework?
No.
Why?
init state.
Because it fails in init state, initial state.
Okay, so where is the max retry number exist?
Max retry number exists in the system exception.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay, I thought there will be a max retry number in the init as well. Execution goes to end process without any retries on the system error transition. Without any retries on execution, go to the end process without any retries on the system. So I put as one retry, and
here
execution this one. Init state is returned a number of times equal to the max number. Yeah, it's actually in the init state, it will directly go to the end process. So which we can, yeah, if you check the RE framework, you come to know that. When an exception is caught in the RE framework by default.
Fourth one.
System.exception?
Yeah.
Or is it not system.system exception?
No, system.exception.
System.exception, yes, that is the correct one. The developer creates a workflow using PDF automation in order to extract some fields from invoices. The following selector is used for extracting the invoice number. So there is a selector, and the developer needs to fine tune the selector in order to use it for more fields. So here this selector is for the PO number field. So he need to fine tune it for more fields. So what represents a good selector out of this?
I think third or fourth. Okay,
we'll go through one by one. So first one, the title equal to star. This could be the one, but the star can be anything, but we need to be more specific. So that is not the answer. And in the question mark, no, it just replaces only one character. If it is more, it's not the answer. And this one could be the answer because there is a field name parameterized. We can pass in any field name. So this is the perfect answer. And the next one is also the perfect answer, but it's the problem is it's only for the specific
Retail,
society. Yeah. So we need, this is more stable. You need to download a report from the Acme website as shown in the following graphic. When you capture the month field selector, it appears as, so for this month in the selector, this coming is August. How should be modified so that I can use to select for any given month? Instead of August, it should be anything. So what is the selector? So these are all easy questions, so you can crack it easily if you know a little bit about selector. So the first one is star, and second one is the month name is parameterized. This could be the answer. The third one, no, the month name is not the answer. It should be parameterized. Any other suggestions?
second one, correct.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 24, the developer is automating a desktop application and needs a fine-tuned selector. Which selector tag or attribute is unavailable when the working with the desktop applications? This is it.
Desktop, third one, window tab.
This one. Okay, a developer is automating a desktop application that needs to fine-tune selector. Which selector tag or attribute is unavailable? So you need to be careful while doing this kind of question, like not or unavailable when working with the desktop.
Web control tag.
Yes. Web control, we are working with desktop applications, so they have given web control, so which is not the answer. Any other suggestions from anyone?
That's right, I think. Yeah.
Okay. The developer is using UI Explorer and identifies an element. After identification, the validate button appears as shown in the following graphic. What does the image indicated about select? What is this? Is it a warning, or it can be revalidated, or it is an error, or it is not available at the time of validation? Selector was not available.
It is number 2. When we modify, we reevaluate.
Yeah, so something has been modified and we can revalidate it. Yes. A click activity with a partial selector is nested inside another activity. In which activity is the click activity contained for the workflow to execute? So it's about a partial selector and full selector. If you are aware, we can answer this. Which activity is the click activity contained for the workflow to execute? A click activity, the partial selector is nested inside another activity.
On element appear.
Which one?
Third one, on element.
On element appear. I cannot. I don't. I couldn't relate it. Why it is on element appear?
It is between two get window, I think, on element, confusing.
Yeah, it is a bit confusing. But on element appear, in my view, it is a full selector. And a get active window, it is a partial selector because we have window is activated, and if you are selecting that window, and within that window, whatever you are doing, that comes inside the partial selector. So a click activity with a partial selector is nested inside another activity. So when you say that, I could relate with the get active window, but I'm also still not sure. How about Excel application scope? Anybody else, any suggestion? Do while is not the answer, it's confusing. So Excel application scope, on element appear, and get active window. So I'll go with Siva on this one. So how about any other suggestions? All right. But between this, I think get active window is the better one, because as I told, the partial selector is here. So knowingly, I no need to give this wrong answer. I think I'm not sure whether it is right or wrong, but I trust Shiva.
Active window. Yeah,
Sorry?
we'll go for get active window.
Active window.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because an element appear, it will be like fully selected.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see what happens. So 27, a developer has created a process that gathers a list of tickets associated and details, a regular expression. The listing is filtered. So this is a regular expression question. The listing of tickets is received as a string variable, and the format of the ticket ID is, so application name, ticket number, where application name is app3 and ticket number represents newly added ticket number. This is the one. And the app3 and the highlighted in yellow or the ticket number. During testing, the developer noticed the ticket ID is currently identified only if the ticket number exactly has 2 digits. So you can see that if it is only 2 digit, so you can see the digit is exactly 2. In that case only it is selected. But if it is 3, 4 or just 1, it don't select. So in that case, how we should give the selector? So which is the option? How should the second line of expression shown in the graphic be modified to ensure all valid ticket number are identified, regardless of how many new tickets are added? So it should be highly dynamic and stable as well. So what do you go for?
4, I'm not sure. Number 2 or number 4, maybe.
So, okay, the first one, exactly 3. So 3 is not the answer. What happens if it is 1 digit or 2 digit? It does not work. And the second one, at least 1 or more. Yeah, so that is at least 1. Yeah, that is correct, because 1, 2, 3, anything it identifies. Between x and y times 2 and 3 is not correct. And fourth one, it is 2 star, and no, this is correct, but for 1 it will not work. So I think I will go with the second one. 28, a developer wants to create an automation that iterates through a dictionary and prints the value of each key. For which activity can iterate through a dictionary? For each, select item. For each row, switch.
For each?
Yeah. It is not select item, and for not for each row. For each row is in the data table, so it's for each. In order to add a row to a data table named DT reports, a developer used the add data row activity. However, UiPath Studio throws exception. Object reference not set to an instance of an object during runtime because the data table was not initialized. So what is the answer to assign an activity, like to initialize a data table? So assign DT reports equal to new system.data table, or assign the new system.data row. This is not the answer. Data table equal to data reports. So this is not the answer. DT reports equal to a new list of data row. No.
1.
Yeah. The developer scrapes data from your website and store it in 3 variables: first name, last name, and city. When passing the data to another workflow to be used later in the process, the developer wants to store the 3 variables in a data structure named user data. Best practices: which data structure and assignment should the developer use? So how do you define the variables for user data if you want to store all the 3 variables: first name, last name,
List of string.
string? Okay.
No, not sure.
First.
Maybe objects. No. Confusing. Yeah.
I think the first one.
Okay. List of string. So first name, last name, city, everything is string. User data is new list of string. Is there any developers here? Any .NET developers can help here? like .NET developers or Java developer is also fine to do this. All right. So user data could be an object as well. Also, we can here it is. It can be a string. So array of strings. We can put it in an array of strings, but here it is not correct. It is not defined properly. So as I told, I'll go with Siva. So list of string, I accept that because new list of string and it has been defined properly. So I think that one. The object, no, I don't think that. I don't think that list of object could be list of object, but it's already this is the correct one, but it's already told it's first name, last name, and city, but we know it is a string. So I will go with Siva.
Yeah.
You read data from an Excel into data table called DT employee. The Excel data is shown in the following graphic. So you have 4 columns and you are required to filter the data table to get all rows with employees from the finance and IT departments whose salary is less than 30,000, which expression provides the required result. So you need to know like it's like whatever from the both department finance and IT, right? And less than 30,000. So you know how to filter the data table. The employee dot select department equal to IT or department equal to finance and salary less than 30,000. Is this one correct?
And department IT and finance and the salary.
I think this syntax is not correct. It opens and between this department and finance there is no syntax incorrect, so I ignore that. And with this department and IT, this syntax is correct, so it could be the answer. For this one, department is IT or department is finance and salary less than 30,000. This also could be correct. This one, department equal to IT or department equal to finance, or no, here the syntax is wrong. By syntax, this both are same, this both are correct. But if it is, so this is a condition, right? And department equal to finance, so which is incorrect. Or is correct because they could be from the finance department or the IT department. So in case IT is not there, the finance data we can select, and if finance is not there, we can select IT department as well. Any other suggestions?
Not sure, but if we see, we get all rows with employees from the finance and IT, and
yeah, that is correct. But you can see the syntax.
Salary
is less than
the salary is less than 30,000.
yeah.
So here, if you see the salary is less than 30,000 and the department equal to IT or department equal to finance. So if you see some,
that seems to be right. Number 3, yeah.
Because also I see
the
like
closing opening price of
I see the syntax first, and the syntax these two are selected.
Selected, yeah. Even IT or finance, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So anybody else have any other opinions? Let me know. We'll choose. Nobody else have, so we'll go with the next page. So guys, today this session will be quite extended, so please be prepared. Still we have a lot of activities to complete, but I thought this is the important one, right? So you are going to take this exam next. Right. So a developer wants to build a custom solution in their project using the invoke code activity. What should be the first step to ensure the necessary namespaces are imported for the custom code? So I haven't done that, but if you know, let me know. Import at the end of the code statement. Import using the package manager.
fourth one.
The input arguments property. Import using the import panel. So is it not the custom code imported via the package manager? Because we deploy, right? From
Developer wants to build a custom solution in the project.
Okay, custom solution in their project using the invoke code activity. Okay. What should be the first step to ensure the necessary namespaces?
Yes.
Okay, so namespace, when it comes to namespace, yes, I think it's the import panel for the custom code. Okay, it's not the custom code, but they're going to build the namespace for the custom code. Okay, if it is the actual custom code, then they go through the package manager. But yeah. A developer is working with a variable list of customer ID and list of string, which is initialized with 1001, 1002 in the same order. So they have invoked a code. So you have already done the collections for reverse and these things, right? So the argument panel is like this: IO list of customer ID in or out, list of string. They're passing the list of customer ID, which is already here. Based on the graphics, what is the output of the write line activity?
3, 2, 1.
Here, if you see the
Reverse.
add is 1003, so 1003 should start, and there is a reverse in the list of customer ID will be reversed. So
Yeah, 1003,
1002
1002, 1001.
yeah. A developer needs to debug a process based on the orchestrator logs. Although there are no exception in the process, the transaction status of the queue item remains in the in progress status. However, the process execution finished since the execution ended log is present in the orchestrator. What is the possible cause of this behavior? So it's always in progress. So status automatically changed because reviewer performed no. Status has been manually changed by
Success or failed somewhere.
updated due to connectivity issues. No. Set transaction state. So other three are no. So I believe this one.
Yeah.
And it is correct because they did not change the status to success or failed. Yeah. So the next one. You are developing an automation project using Git. So if you have used Git, then you will be fine. So it's compare files.
Compare files.
Yeah, I think that is the correct one because if you need to compare files, there is the option called compare files, and also there is show changes, show history. But you need to be you need to go through Git to understand this. What activity is valid in the condition of retry scope activity? If element exists, path exists, or on element appear?
I think second. Yeah.
Element exist. Okay. Which activity is valid in the? So in the retry scope. So can you explain why did you select this element exist?
See, when we check the scope, we need to check the Boolean value element exist or not when we do the retry scope. I think
it's if.
If, who is that? Rashmi?
Yeah, because we are checking using if activity, whether in retry, whether it's successful or
No,
not.
well, actually, retry scope, it would be like a Boolean, right? Boolean, either element exists or, yeah, it should be like, definitely the answer is element exist.
Element exist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I see is like, so the retry, I'll tell what is the retry scope activity. So it will retry the number of activities that given inside the retry scope for a number of times until a condition is satisfied or not. So on element appear, I don't see, we need to check, but as per this guy says the element exists, the output is a Boolean. So it says yes or no. So if it is yes, it will execute. So even I am not sure, but I still go with this one because I need to check all the output properties of each of this thing. But since I get more opinions on the element exists, I will be going with this one. Review the following graphics. So it's typing into Notepad. You need to check the graphic at the right. The continue on error is true, and wait for ready is interactive. And the Notepad. So the Notepad, it's type into and right line, and in the exception there is an exception. There are multiple exceptions here. If the automation is executed and notebook.exe is not running, which right line text value is contained in the output panel? Is it invalid operation exception or argument exception or exception of try? So what is in the output panel? So it comes inside, its continue on error is true. So this line is executed and it faulted here, but since the continue on error is true, it will write this line, right? So it's in the try catch. So even though it's an error, it will write try and it will skip all the exceptions. The answer is try. Is there any other opinions? No?
So if it is false on continue on error, then it catch the exception first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will directly come. It will this will not be executed. The next statement in the try will not be executed. So it will be directly coming to the exception, and the first exception will be cut. The related exception is the first one, so it will catch this. And yeah, so it is try. After finishing development, a developer observes in UAT the selector corresponding to a UI element within an application changed. This breaks the automation and the automation fails to execute as expected. Based on UiPath recommendations, what is the correct sequence of steps and the developer should take to debug the error? So what do you do generally as a best practice if something failed, right? So we will first of all need to review the logs. Yeah, so that is, we need to write the best practice. Update the selector. Will you be updating the selector, or you'll be running in debug mode? You check the logs for error location and navigate to the activity, or validate the selector and add that breakpoint. So you need to order it accordingly. Let me put it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and you tell me which goes first.
Second is 1.
Okay.
Third is 2.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Validate. 4 is third and 1 is fourth.
Is it 2? So 1, run in debug mode to ensure the process runs without the exception. 2, check the log for the error location and navigate the activity. Check the logs.
I think that one is first.
Yes, this is the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah. And that first is second, I think.
First is update the selector. Yes.
Second.
And run in debug mode is that. Validate.
But I think that third is last, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yes, correct.
Yeah.
So, is this correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You are debugging a workflow created in the RE framework. You set a breakpoint, invoke init all settings workflow activity. During the debugging process, the executor is shown as follows. What will happen when step 2 over? Right. So it's all debugging topics. So when you click on step 2 over, from here, what will happen? Executor passes at the invokes init all settings. Executor points to the first activity inside the init all settings. Executor points to the next activity for after the invoke all settings workflow. Executor points to the last activity. Is it
Next activity.
Next one?
Next activity.
Next
step.
Yeah, I accept that. You placed a new log message inside the UiPath. When the workflow is executed, what is the default log level?
The default value is trace.
Default is trace.
Yeah, I
No,
think
sir.
I'm not sure.
Default is not trace. By default, I think it is information, info.
Info. Yeah, info.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm sure it's info. Well, you just write a message and then execute and see what is the log level. So it is info.
Yeah.
One trace info error. During testing, a process fails due to timeout. The developer wants to know every activity the process completed while reviewing the logs in the orchestrator. To ensure the logs provide the descriptive information, which logging must be set.
First one, I think.
Yeah.
About
Yeah, so verbose, it gives everything, right? So that is the detailed level. So the most information you get from the verbose. And next is trace doesn't give, it's better than like next to verbose, this is the better one. So in that way, like critical, no. The information, that is the default one, it has less information. Critical has some critical information, but not all. Trace is next. Verbose is the best one, I think. So this one, I'm really not sure, guys. We need to go through.
We added 6Q item.
6 queues in on 11 14 11 2020. So they are added 6 queue items. What is the correct sequence in which these queue items will be processed? From the drop down list,
Deadline.
select the in which the queues are. You need to see this topic. So the orchestrator queue priority. So if you go through that,
remember this one, we will give the high priority first.
okay.
Yeah, high, normal. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and the third one is first.
Third one is fast. Okay.
Third one.
Okay, I'll give all the high first. Okay, then sorry, all the high first. So you tell which is 1, 2, 3 here.
Yeah.
No, third. I mean third one.
No,
That is the one.
okay, this is first. Okay, this is second.
Then no. 15
Yeah,
date is no deadline 15 low, right?
This one is the second.
No. The upper one is
No,
the
first we should first
Yeah, that is second.
whatever high. Yeah.
It is the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the third one.
This is this is fourth one.
Okay, this is the fourth one. Which is the third one?
Normal. Yeah.
This is fourth. This is third. Yeah.
Third.
Third. And this is sixth.
Last two. Yeah, fifth. Last is fifth.
This is sixth.
Last is fifth, and this is sixth. Is this the correct one?
Yeah, that's right.
This is the high. This is priority equal to high, and it comes first on the 15th. High on the 16th, and where is the third? It is normal on the 17th. I'm not sure. Normal. Yeah, I'll trust you guys. A developer has configured the activity project settings for a UI automation and click activity in the project as shown below. So it's the delay configured. It's interactive. This side also it's interactive. And the continue on error is blank. And the actual timeout is 15 seconds. Which value will be used for the time delay before executing the click activity in run mode? Which value will be used for time delay before executing the click activity? A developer has configured activity project settings. So activity settings for UI automation and a click activity. So for a click activity, he has done this.
So it is delay before, right?
Yeah.
That is 400.
Yeah, 400. So here it is 2 seconds. Here it is 1 second.
The debug value is
No, I think it's a 400 milliseconds.
400. Okay. How it is?
No, the delay before. I mean, which?
Here it is 400. Here it is 200. And
What is the question? Come
the
slow.
developer has configured activity project settings
Yeah.
for UI automation and a click activity in the project shown below. For a click activity, he has done this. But the project activity project settings is this.
Which value will be?
Which value will be come down, or which value will be
Which value will be used for the time delay before executing?
before executing click?
The
Yeah,
delay.
delay before 400. Yeah.
Okay,
400. Yeah.
I'll go with that. A developer is automating a process which retrieves technical product details based on user input. The process steps include asking the user for a product name, using the input as search string in an online catalog, scrapping the structured result. The developer discovers that the title of the search result page is generated dynamically using the search string. Based on the graphic, what is the recommended way to ensure the robot locates the correct page? So here the title is very dynamic. So here it's asking what he needs to do, recommended way to ensure. Limit the max number of results property to number of results displayed. No, not right. Fine tune the selectors of the data scraping activity. Fine tune the selector of attached browser activity. Fine tune the selector of next link selector property of the data scraping activity. This one?
Yeah.
Because yeah, so select as per selector, the attached browser will go through the title, and if the title is dynamic, we need to play around the title what is that selector. The developer is creating a background process automation. What should be avoided in this type of process? What should be avoided, guys?
UI interaction.
UI interaction.
Background. Yeah.
Main activities is creating a what should be avoided in this type of process? Exception handling, API calls, mail activities, UI interaction. Yeah. A developer uses workflow analyzer to check the process shown in following graph. I'm really not sure about this. I haven't used much the workflow analyzer. If the workflow analyzer is configured with the default rules, which warning will be shown in the error list? Activity assigned has default name, potential infinite loop detected in flowchart.
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
Second one.
Potential
The
in
counter.
why?
It could be second and
No,
fourth.
that flow chart, as per the flow chart, they're assigning the counter equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
So based on that, the condition will be counter less than 5. Okay. So it will be like the loop will be coming infinite. It will be like it will be detected the decision.
Oh, okay. Any other suggestions?
Not sure.
Okay, interesting. A developer runs workflow analyzer with default rules and receives the following warning description on one of the workflows. Log message display name is defined many times. Currently allowed threshold is 1. Code contains 2. What is the cause of the warning? So workflow analyzer question with the default rules and receives the following warning. Log message display name is defined many times. What is the cause of the warning?
Current allows 1.
Workflow contains 2 renamed log message activity. Workflow contains 2 log message activity with the default name. Workflow contains more than 2 log message activities. Workflow contains 2 log message activity which is not allowed.
I think 1.
1. Workflow contains 2 renamed log message activities.
Sure. Yeah.
Anybody else?
With the default name, display name is defined many times. Current machine. I think maybe 3, no, maybe second or 1. I'm not sure.
Okay. How about any Shiva?
No idea. So
Okay. No.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with Sunny. Sunny, anyone?
Second. Just change it to second. Yes.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay. No two options can be selected here. Okay, the final question. Based on the graphic, logs of which level will be sent to orchestrator during process execution when orchestrator is connected?
That is trace and above. Yes.
Trace and above, yeah, there is trace, so it will say trace and above. Any suggestions? Okay, pray God. Pray all. Okay, I'm going to click on finished. Let's see. Hey, 94, man. Oh, excellent. That's
I
a
think the wait for ready. We have mentioned the answer is like wait for ready interactive, right? It could be wait for ready none.
Yeah.
Oh.
I-
So the good thing is like we are getting the wrong answers here. So a developer decided to create a process. Yeah. So state machine is incorrect, guys. So you need to refresh the state machine again and again before taking this exam. And automate web application in order for the robot to as soon as the element has appeared. So yeah. So here we have given.
wait for ready is none. Here we give the interactive.
Yeah. Interactive. So it should be none, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That question.
Yeah, developer scrapes data from your website. Okay. This also we need to check.
This must be object. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yes.
we give the list.
Could be the object. I was confused with the syntax. So if you are writing in the code, that is different thing. We can find it out. But in the question, like, yeah, you need to learn all the syntax and go. So just 3, but it's a great achievement. We have successfully done that. So now we have together took that. So we'll take a 5 minutes, 5 minutes break, and we'll come back with another interactive session. So be ready.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed today's session. Click on that subscribe button and that notification icon, and I see you soon in another video. Thank you very much.